Hello, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Miriam.
We'd also like to introduce you to Emil and Kelly. Emil and Kelly are both young post-secondary students, and like many of their peers on campus and off, they like to party and hang out with their friends. Oftentimes, this involves alcohol and drugs, and both are aware of the inherent risks of these substances. Today, we're going to take you through their journeys as young responders to overdose and opioid poisonings. Tens of thousands of lives have been lost to the opioid epidemic in Canada alone, and the crisis has only worsened during the COVID-19 pandemic. Opioids are a drug class primarily used for pain relief, but due to the potential euphoria-inducing side effects, opioids can be addictive and people can quickly become dependent on them. Overdose, or opioid poisoning, happens when a person consumes more opioids than their body can handle. Opioid poisoning has three characteristic symptoms: unconsciousness, excessive pupil constriction, and respiratory depression, which is deeply slowed breathing and is what is fatal often about opioid poisoning. Naloxone is a drug that can temporarily reverse the effects of opioid poisoning by binding to opioid receptors in the brain and in the process knocking off the opioid molecules on the receptors. Naloxone kits for use by non-medics have been produced to combat the opioid epidemic, and accompanied with training kit use, these programs have been able to save lives. For Kelly and Emil and their fellow students and other new recreational users, they are often away from home for the first time or entering a new period of their life and are experimenting with their newfound freedom. Like I mentioned, opioid poisoning happens when a person takes more opioids than their body can handle, and for many of the experimenting students, they have little to no tolerance whatsoever. In addition, all recreational users are at risk due to current drug supplies increasingly being cut with extremely strong opioids like fentanyl and other cheaply produced synthetics. This creates very dangerous situations and unfortunately is evident in that Canadians aged 15 to 24 are the fastest growing population needing hospital care from opioid poisonings. For this high-risk population, we looked at locations where opioid poisonings most frequently occur and where naloxone is most needed. These are often spaces like raves, nightclubs, bars, and other party spaces. Often, these are spaces where people are, for various reasons, reluctant to bring more items along with them than are absolutely needed. For a student like Kelly, when she goes out to a bar, she only brings a small purse with essentials: ID, money, house keys, lipstick. Emil doesn't carry a bag at all and goes with whatever fits in his pockets. This concept of carriage is important to increasing student uptake through understanding their item-carrying behaviors. Carriage is a nebulously defined term in harm reduction research, so we prepared a survey to investigate how students and others prefer to tote around items in general.
The survey's goal was to understand typical carrying behavior and student knowledge of naloxone to help inform our design decisions. Nearly 60 people responded, and the data showed that when asked what they carry on the regular basis for leisure purposes, a majority of respondents reported that they carried smaller items. Further, about a quarter of the respondents typically avoid carrying items larger than pocket size. Out of the 58 respondents, only 8 carried some form of emergency kit. When asked why emergency kits may not be carried, about half stated that they do not expect to need it, while a quarter thought they were too big or bulky. About half the respondents know what a naloxone is, but only 2 reported carrying take-home naloxone kit when engaging in life or party environments. As reasons for not carrying naloxone, half of respondents had never heard of the kit, while a majority believed that they would never have the chance to use it. And many also lacked confidence or comfort in administering the kit. When asked what design traits would make them more likely to carry a THN kit, both current carriers and many non-carriers chose small and lightweight. Building on SME findings, literature review, and survey results, we identified several key issues of the standard THN kit and consideration for our design. This includes which areas we determined that needed to be modified, substituted, combined, eliminated, and added.
When Kelly heads out to a nightclub with her friends, she wants to bring her THN kit from the training she did recently through her university. But she's planning to dance, and any bag of hers that will fit her kit is not suitable for the dance floor. She elects to leave the kit at home this time, reasoning that she's never seen an overdose before and it's unlikely that she'll see one tonight. But later in the night, Kelly encounters someone in the bathroom who she suspects is overdosing. With no kit, all Kelly can do is call for help and hope that someone around her has naloxone. The major issues that Kelly experiences in this scenario occur because the very kit she needs to bring to a nightlife environment is not physically built for that environment. Kelly and many other students need a naloxone kit that's small enough for their purse, or a kit that can substitute for a purse or a bag entirely.
Emil goes to a house party and is sure to bring his naloxone kit, as he's feeling empowered by the recent naloxone training he did the previous week. Although his kit doesn't fit in his pants pocket, he's just able to fit it into his jacket pocket. When he arrives, Emil tosses his jacket onto a pile of other coats and heads to a different part of the house to socialize. Later, he encounters a suspected overdose in an empty upstairs room, but his kit is not with him. By the time he has run downstairs, found his jacket and kit, and called out for someone to call EMS, a lot of time has passed, and his anxiety about the situation has skyrocketed. He fumbles with the zipper, the netting pocket, in unfolding the instruction sheet, and in following the instructions. The issues Emil encounters relate to being able to keep his kit on his person and being able to access the instructions and tools straightforwardly and quickly. Emil and many other students need a naloxone kit that they can keep with them and that they feel confident in using, whether or not they have any experience in administering naloxone. Kelly and Emil's journey are why we have designed NaloxBox, a multi-purpose, compact, and carryable naloxone kit for students and other people who are experimenting with drugs and alcohol for the first time, and who spend time around others doing the same. NaloxBox is half the size of the standard THN kit and is designed to carry nasal spray naloxone. The kit is the size of 2 packaged naloxone nasal spray dispensers, small enough to tuck into a bag and forget about until needed. Or with pockets and a detachable strap, this kit can replace a going out bag entirely. It can be strapped to arms, bags, belt loops, table legs, or even worn crossbody. With outer pockets on the front and back end and inner pocket, there's enough space for additional items, such as drug testing resources, bank cards, ID cards, band-aids, CPR masks, and latex gloves, all tucked neatly inside. With the reflective logo and an option for brightly colored designs, it can also stand out as a beacon for anyone looking for help. For anyone hoping for discretion, there's a solid black design. When opened, the lid stays rigid so that the instructions printed on the inside of it can be easily referenced, even in a panic.
The NaloxBox is built with an inner frame of a stiff thermoplastic polyurethane to keep the structure. Magnets are used for an easy opening clasp, similar to an iPad case. The lid is a stainless steel spring band to ensure the lid stays open for quick instruction referencing. Everything is then encased in a silicone outer coating to keep this kit smooth, wipeable, and clean. And with a strap made of spandex and hook and loop attachments, the methods of carrying it are wide and adaptable.
If Kelly and Emil each had a NaloxBox, its small size and durability would allow them to bring it to clubs, raves, parties, not to mention anywhere in daily life as well. We designed NaloxBox for the needs of all new and familiar recreational users and responders, students in particular. One of the best destination points for NaloxBox is during freshman orientation week at colleges and universities, where many schools have increasingly been providing naloxone training courses. NaloxBox is adaptable and toteable, and will also be helpful to harm reductions in the general public as well as just students and other new substance users.
Future directions for the NaloxBox may include a streamlined and even smaller size, which would involve redesigning the packaging for the nasal spray dispensers themselves. We also want to develop drug testing resources to increase awareness of the existence and importance of getting drugs tested to prevent opioid poisonings entirely. Our aim with NaloxBox is to increase uptake of naloxone carriage for a safer and more compassionate environment for everyone.